Why did Rhaenys return to face Vagar on this episode for House of the Dragon Season 2? Revealed the book story, Raven. Before we start with this video, if you want to participate in our new giveaway, where we will be giving away the book Fire and Blood, in which the secrets are kept about what will happen in the story of House of the Dragon. To participate, all you have to do is tell us which side or noble house you would belong to and why the winner will be announced on July 16th. Understand why Rhaenys returned to face Aemon. We must revisit her story, Princess Rhaenys Targaryen No, as the queen who never was the granddaughter of King Jaehaerys Targaryen, daughter of Prince Aemon. Targaryen lady, Jocelyn Baratheon Rhaenys was born on the 7th day of the 7th moon of the year 74, after the conquest. That means that in our timeline, according to the HBO series, Rhaenys was born and died on the same day of her birthday at the age of 55. But how did Rhaenys Targaryen come to be next in line of succession? If her father never became king, her father Aemon Targaryen was the Prince of Dragonstone and heir to the Iron Throne, being the king's male child. Aemon was not the firstborn son of King Jaehaerys, but the third son. His older brother Aegon died 3 days after his birth, and then Princess Daenerys Targaryen was born. But because she was a woman, Jaehaerys decided to name Aemon as heir, but Aemon loses his life in a conflict, and Rhaenys, being the firstborn of Aemon Targaryen, was next in the line of succession. But again, because she was a woman, the council decided to name her cousin Viserys as heir to King Jaehaerys. Because she was passed over in the line of succession, the court jester Mushroom named her the Queen, who never was a nickname that caught on among the common folk in the books. Rhaenys inherited the black hair characteristic of her mother's family house Baratheon, so the legitimacy of her grandchildren, Rhaenys' children, was not questioned by their appearance, but by the love interests of Lord Valeron. Rhaenys married Corlys Velaryon in the year 90 after the conquest, and they had 2 children over time. Rhaenys' viscerous frustration of not being named heir, but she continually had differences with Corlys, who always fought for her right to the throne and sought opportunities to move closer to powers, as happened when they offered Lena as a overcame wife for Viserys, and eventually they managed to consolidate Rhaenys' marriage. With Lord Rhaenys had made peace with the idea that a woman would never reign in Westeros, and even told Rhaenyra that men would rather set the kingdom on fire than allow a woman to ascend the Iron Throne. However, Rhaenys did not agree to the usurpation, and when the Dance of the Dragons began in the year 129, after the conquest, Rhaenys was part of the Black Council supporting Rhaenyra as claim to the throne. As the king had decreed, the support of Rhaenys and Corey to the black side was significant, so they became one of the most powerful allies of Queen Rhaenyra Targaryen. The first strategic move was when the Valyrian fleet closed the pass at the Gullet, and their fleet patrolled from Dragonstone and Driftmark to block all navigation into Blackwater by affecting trade at King's Landing. The plan of the Blacks was for Rhaenys to fly over the Gullet with Mala to prevent the Greens from attacking their ships with dragons. After the Black Council realized that the Greens were on their way to Rook's Rest, Rhys offered to fly into Rook's Rest over Malay. Rhys attacked Sir Criston Cole's soldiers during the battle at Rook's Rest, but the attack turned out to be a trap, as Aemon planned to arrive with Vhagar to end it all. On the other hand, King Aegon II, frustrated that no one respected him, as King decided to fly with his dragon Sunfire, perhaps thinking he was going to put up a good fight. But when he is arriving at Rook's Rest, Aemon sees Aegon heading for battle, and angry, he decides to let him go on, perhaps so that he sees that going into battle is not game, and maybe he wanted to teach him a lesson, or is it that he wants to get him out of the way so he can keep the Iron Throne? But we'll talk about this in its own vide, while Rhys is attacking Criston Cole's army. Aegon arrives with his dragon, and Rhaenys, seeing him, decides to attack him directly. This was a very exciting moment as the Dance of the Dragons began, and this was the first battle between dragons that we have seen. These 2 dragons begin to fight in the air, and suddenly Aemond arrives with Vhagar, the largest and most fearful dragon. Aemon sees that Sunfire and Malay were entangled while fighting, so he approaches and attacks, not caring that he was also attacking his brother Aegon, and his dragon fall to the ground. But Rhaenys and Malay were unharmed. Rhaenys has the opportunity to escape and seek help, but decides to return to face Aemon. But what makes such a bad decision to face Vhagar? To understand this, we must remember the first episode of the 2nd season when Daemon claims to Rhaenys why She did not end with the coronation of Aegon when she the opportunity to do so. When she burst into the coronation with her dragon Melee, he tells her that it was because of her inaction that she lost her grandson. Lucerys rise, although she has the opportunity to return to report what was happening and to seek reinforcement, decides not to lose the opportunity to avenge her grandson herself, eliminating the person responsible for the death of Lucerys. If we look closely, Rise looks back and sees a one, then takes a pause, as if analyzing something deeply or just mentally preparing herself for what is coming. But she prefers not to lose that opportunity to try to eliminate Amon, because if she returns just to report, maybe they could think that she let them escape again. She could not live with another guilt on top of the one she already feels for the death of Lucerys if she returned to report. And Aemon manages to end the life of another innocent person, so she gives the command to her dragon to continue attacking as she determined to avenge her grandson and willing to face her own death. Rice returns to face Aemon and begins to battle with Vhagar. But Rhaenys' dragon was very small compared to Vhagar, so Vhagar easily grabs it and begins to hurt Mess while they are fighting. They are falling, and Vhagar is the one who hits the ground first. So Rhaenys and Male have another chance to escape. But here again, we notice that her decision was final. Rice was determined to die in the attempt if necessary. So she returns again, but this time Vhagar finishes Mess with a single bite, clenching its neck with his teeth, until he takes the life, or Rice's dragon. We see again in her expression that this was what she was willing to do. So once again it is shown how calm she was with her decision to die. Lord Corlys Velaryon's faithful wife, mother, and grandmother, the queen, who never was lived without fear and died amidst fire and blood. Her end will mark a before and after in the history of the Targaryen family.